Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Ali Moreno on what seems like day 35 of being in Connecticut. Frank Leboeuf is still with us. Although, Frank, you've actually got... you can help me now. Let's take a look at some French newspapers, shall we?
Oh, okay. The prince of the city.
The prince of the city?
Yeah, Luis Enrique, the, how do you say, the chef of orchestra, the master.
They mean the conductor?
The conductor, well done.
Yes.
All right. So basically, we needed Dan to translate.
All right, but he made his researches like 2 hours ago.
I definitely did, yeah. Have you met me?
Yes, I saw you.
Right, there we go. That's a wonderful start to the show, but we're live and we can't do it again. Welcome in then, Melchiot's with us, as is Luis Garcia. Now, Luis was at the final, first time he's been on since we saw PSG win 5-0. Luis, do you want to take me through who's in this picture? Is that Samuel Eto'o next to you in the middle?
Claude Makélélé.
Yes, sir. Yes, it was Claude Makélélé, Iniesta, and Materazzi, of course. I think that was just arriving to the stadium. We saw Samuel Eto'o. He was with his crew, with his family, and some friends, and he decided to take a picture. And there you are. I think they're fantastic players, top players. They are not better in the business. So, yeah, it was beautiful to be there. A lot of top talent and a lot of good football on the pitch.
And you were there as well, Luis. What did you make of the final overall? Obviously, the big talking point from the Spanish point of view, and we've discussed it a lot over the last couple of days, how Luis Enrique seems to have evolved as a manager to a scene that struggled so much when he was in charge of Spain to what we saw happen at the weekend.
Yeah, I think that we've been waiting for this moment. I think many people that supports the sport or enjoys about football was waiting for this moment to happen. Not because it's Paris Saint-Germain or because it's specifically Luis Enrique, but I think that the last few years Paris Saint-Germain was on the chase of this fantastic trophy, and it was Luis Enrique the one who from the very beginning told the club to believe in him. At the end of the season it was magnificent. The rhythm, the pace, the intensity of this team was amazing, and we saw in the last game where Inter de Milan couldn't get, he was just chasing shadows, he couldn't get the rhythm of the game, and they were really after 20 minutes out of the Champions League final. So fantastic news to see that if you work, if you show that there are changes that it can be done, and it doesn't matter if you don't have top players, that you can grow with young players. In the end, you can get the results. So really happy to see Luis Enrique lifting the trophy.
Luis, how do you explain then the struggles that he had with a good team, of course, at Spain that in fact went on to win the Euros after he left, to what he's done at PSG?
Well, it's curious, but at the end, I think that they are moments, I think he found in Paris Saint-Germain a group of players that they were ready to back him up, to follow him. Whatever he says, if he tells you to go through the wall, you're gonna go through the ball, and that's a message that he's been trying to impose into the dressing room. Respect around each other, and if you believe in what I'm doing, we're gonna be successful. I think in the past, we've seen his career, and he done it again with Barcelona, with the belief that the Barcelona player had in him. Maybe with the national team, that I think that they did a good job in the previous one. He didn't click or connect at some point with some of the players. So the players who were joining this, don't forget that they are coming from different teams, different formation, different styles. So it's not that easy to connect and to work on a daily basis. And I think the way that he plays is like similar to Barcelona. The amount of coordination that is needed to work to get the results is very difficult, and you have to work every single day, and maybe that's why he wasn't successful in the previous one.
And we've just lost Mario, who seems to be doing some photocopying at the moment. We'll get back to him in a moment. Luis, just how difficult is it to get a dressing room to believe in your theory, as it seems that Luis Enrique has done?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy because, first of all, you need to have results. If the results are not there, it doesn't matter the message that you're going to send. It's very difficult to drop from that. And I think that that's what Luis Enrique did. Opened his heart to Paris Saint-Germain. They believe in the message, in the style of play. And in the end, they get the results. This year with trophies in the domestic league, but also in Champions League, lifting finally this Champions League trophy.
Given the success they've had this season, does that make Luis Enrique's job harder or easier going into the next campaign?
Well, they have set a standard for themselves, and obviously meeting that standard, repeating is always difficult, always far more difficult than actually winning it the first time. However, there is something to be said about the fact that you've now relieved some pressure. You've now sort of achieved the goal that seemed impossible at some point, that we've had the conversation, is this a moment in which PSG blow it? Is this the moment in which PSG come up short? Is this a moment in which they don't deliver or they don't meet the expectations? That conversation cannot be had any longer. And so that is empowering for a manager, it's empowering for a club, it's empowering for the individual players that now they know what it takes to win a Champions League. And so repeating is always difficult because no two seasons are ever the same. And it's difficult to recreate the magic, to recreate the feeling. I think all of us that have played this game at a professional level know the differences between magical, special locker rooms and locker rooms that were not quite as magical, not quite as special. And in order for you to go on this long run, you need something special. You need a special feeling within the locker room. That certainly was the case for PSG. That certainly was the case for Luis Enrique as well. And I would also say that, I don't know if he has been mentioned enough or at all, the personal loss of Luis Enrique, of his daughter, that changes people. It has to. It has to have an impact in how you approach your everyday life and how you approach your job and how you relate to players. And while you don't want to look at it as a positive because it's never the case when you have such a personal loss, it's something that perhaps he used to empower him, to push him forward. If he's a man of faith, to utilize that faith and put himself in a position in which he uses what is devastating to be in a powerful position in the way that he communicates with his players. It's the only way that it makes sense to me that he's able to deal with this loss and then be able to then project to his players the way that he has. I think from every angle, what Luis Enrique has done this season has been special.
You brought up an interesting point yesterday, Fran. We were talking about the youth of this side, where it's like, oh, this is easy. Turn up, win a Champions League, win a treble, bish, bash, bosh. Going into next season, obviously, as Ali said, every season is different. With regards to keeping that respect there, keeping these young players fresh, keeping them hungry and making sure they listen to you, how big a task is that going to be?
It's a huge one. Confirmation is the hardest task that you have, especially in football. You were saying, Ali, that it's never the same season. So we all agree that Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain should have, like for at least a decade, a bright future. But you're only one winner in the Champions League, only one winner in the Liga or in the Liga. So you will have to confirm, but you will have to confirm with the tools that we have seen, with the players that they now are, in a way with the experience that they got this season. But people will know them. They will respect them a little bit more, and maybe they will try to find a solution to stop them. So the task will be harder. It's going to be always harder in everything, but he has the material for that. And if he finds the words, as you were saying, with kind of sensitivity that he can have and how he can use that, people is going to listen to him. That's the message you send to the players, and to make sure that they're going to give their blood to and their heart to you.
Mario's, I believe, the drilling outside has now subsided. Right. So Mario, back with us. Mario, I imagine you've had similar times in your career as everybody has, when everybody's on the same page. Everyone has the same idea. They know exactly what they're doing. And I imagine as a team, as a professional, that must be one of the best feelings in sport.
Yeah, I think when you look at the team, you know, like everything gels so well. You understand? Like people talk about like if you look in the middle of the park, how they packed the middle of the park to make sure that Inter was almost like 3 of Inter against like 4, because Hakimi comes in the middle, and it wasn't like what we normally see. You understand? We see, for example, in the Premier League, you see Pep Guardiola does it. But it worked well. You know, the timing was well. They allowed them to have the ball and put them under pressure like crazy. Dembele plays like a forward, and just, you know, he knew what he had to do. You have to put them under pressure. Allow them to play the ball, and we're just going to run. And we're going to make sure they cannot think. Every time they look up, we are in their face. And the way they did it, normally they come out as a technical team. And when I played in France, you understand, I know the system, how they like to play. But when I saw them, it's like we knew they had the skill, we knew Inter had the experience, but how well they did it, it was just, sometimes things are just so good that Inter did not have an answer. And that's exactly what I was watching.